Welcome to our roundup of the European Parliament plenary session here in Strasbourg, where the new Juncker Commission unveiled an ambitious €315 billion plan to kickstart the EU economy. Meanwhile, Jean-Claude Juncker faced down a censure motion from anti-EU MEPs over allegations his native Luxembourg enabled large-scale tax breaks for international big business while he was Prime Minister. And in the midst of it all, Pope Francis came to Strasbourg to deliver his first public speech on the state of Europe. We begin our coverage, though, on the Juncker package aimed at bringing growth and jobs back to the EU. Europe has seen investment declines of nearly 20% since the latest financial crisis began. Now, a new European Fund for Strategic Investment, drawn from the EU budget and European Investment Bank, would invest in higher-risk projects to attract private capital. Commission President Juncker said a lot was at stake with the ambitious investment plan.
Investing in Europe, it means much more than figures, projects, money, rules. It's about people, mainly about those amongst our citizens who are unemployed. We need to send a message to the people of Europe and to the rest of the world. Europe is back in business. This is not the moment to look back. Investment is about the future.
That investment places energy, transport, and digital communications priorities front and center. Commission estimates say it could add €400 billion to the EU's GDP and create up to 1.3 million new jobs in the next several years to help build infrastructure previously held to be too financially risky. EPP Group Chairman Manfred Weber urged individual member states to sign off on the plan.
Europe is keeping its promises. Through our own efforts within the EU, we can manage to raise the 315 billion. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, we in the EPP Group stand behind the proposal of Jean-Claude Juncker and the Commission. We want to look to new horizons. We want Europe to get moving. Today is a good day for Europe.
President Juncker offered hope to those who had suffered most and had least access to investment funds and their benefits in the recent crisis.
Yes, Europe can still become the epicenter of a major investment drive. Yes, Europe can grow again. And yes, the European social model will persevere. Now that we are going in the right direction, there will be no turning back.
76 mainly far-right and anti-EU MEPs brought the motion of censure against President Juncker over allegations he enabled tax breaks for big international businesses in Luxembourg during his time as Prime Minister. In the end, 6 out of the 7 political groupings in Parliament voted against the censure motion. Juncker pointed out that he had made transparent and comprehensive tax reporting reform proposals long before the recent LuxLeaks allegations emerged. The Commission, Juncker added, would proceed with plans for an automatic exchange of national tax rulings across all 28 member states.
The problem is not merely Luxembourg's, but is rather a European economic one. I have proposed a certain number of changes in behavior, which we must adopt.
EPP Group Chairman Manfred Weber also defended Juncker's stance, saying he had been ahead of the curve on tackling tax havens.
My group wants tax justice. We want to bring an end to big companies able to dodge and wriggle their way out of their tax obligations. And of course, we also want to make headway on this, and we need a Commission putting ideas on the table and taking initiatives. That's what President Juncker has done, that's the intention of the Commission, and thus he enjoys the EPP Group's full support.
Pope Francis's whirlwind appearance was the first to the European Parliament since Pope John Paul II spoke here in 1988, and the Berlin Wall was on the verge of disappearing. Francis pointedly sought to rally an austerity-weary Europe he said had grown increasingly suspicious of EU institutions. Pope Francis clearly reveled in his self-described role as pastor, leading the Roman Catholic Church in a message that Europe must not lose its humanity or compassion for the less fortunate. Before a packed Parliament chamber, Francis warned against social complacency in tackling high unemployment and growing poverty.
It's time for policies to promote employment, but there is also a need to promote dignity in work by restoring proper working conditions. finding new ways of combining market flexibility and the need for providing for the security of workers that they are indispensable for their human development.
The Pope also called on Parliament to exercise vigilance to protect European democracy from what he called the growing threat of political extremism and economic monopolies.
Keeping democracies alive is a challenge in the present historic moment. The true strength of our democracies, understood as expressions of the political will of the people, must not be allowed to collapse under the pressure of multinational interests, which are not universal. Those which weaken and turn them into uniform systems of economic power at the service of unseen empires.
That's all from this plenary session here in Strasbourg. See you again soon in Brussels. And if you want to find out more about the largest political force in the European Parliament, visit eppgroup.eu. Thanks for looking in, and see you again soon.